Woody's at his age.
Welcome to the Jets Afterburners podcast near Jets Stand 16. Liam will be back on Thursday. Right now, he is surfing along this nor'easter, coming back from the south and going all the way back to the north. In a little bit, we're going to have Luca on as our backup co-host, who will be bringing on a lot of great points. Now, let's fast forward, fellas. New York Jets fans nation. We're 0-6. No one in their right mind had thought that we would ever get to this point. We thought that maybe we would be a little bit more competitive, but guess what? We are not. And I, a perpetual optimist, believe that is a good thing. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of teams in the NFL history that have been worse than us. The New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Detroit Lions, New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of these teams, a lot. What needed to happen to a lot of these franchises were catastrophic events, not competitive teams where you lose. You get 4-12 and 5-11 and you got the pieces there. No. These were horrendous teams that once the owner saw that, they had no other option but to do a full reset, not partial, and not mess around with the hierarchy. No, this was, you got your GM, the GM gets your head coach. 1988, the Dallas Cowboys. Tom Landry calls it quits. 1989, the Cowboys hold the first overall draft selection. With that, it enticed some guy from the University of Miami, Jimmy Johnson, comes in and drafts Troy Aikman. Guess what? They also had a perennial running back in his prime named Herschel Walker. They traded him for future boatload picks. One of those picks and whatnot, I think they landed like 3 Hall of Famers. And the following draft in 1990, they drafted a guy named Emmitt Smith. 92, the New England Patriots. I remember this one very well because, it was the Brownie Nagel years with the Jets. Patriots had someone by the name of Scott Zolak. Oh, what a guy. Amazing. They went 2-14. They held the first overall draft pick. They signed a guy by the name of Bill Parcells. They drafted Drew Bledsoe. Changed that entire franchise around for many years to come. 97, the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, man, the Indianapolis Colts. Jeff George, Jack Trudeau. Who else played quarterback for the Colts? Who else did? A lot of, Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh. 97 led them to a 3-13 season. The owner cleaned house, hired Bill Polian and Jim Mora. They also had a Pro Bowl running back by the name of Marshall Faulk. Yep. After year 1 with Peyton Manning, after drafting him, they traded Marshall Faulk. Whoa. How do you trade someone like that? How do you trade him? How do you do that? Grand scheme of things, Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with the Colts. 2008, the Detroit Lions go 0-16. And a lot of you guys remember the Detroit Lions. They were one of the worst ever franchises. Bobby Lane curse. They landed Matt Stafford. And they were good from that point on. And a lot of things changed, but at least they were in the conversation. 2022, the Houston Texans, 3-13. They sucked. They get DeMeco Ryans, CJ Stroud, and they made the playoffs. Last year, 2023, the Commanders. 2023, 4-13. Thank you, Jets, because we had to win that game, and it bumped them up in the draft board. They got Dan Quinn, and then they drafted Jaden Daniels. The New York Jets, to be honest with you, they don't have much. At this point with coaching, there's no structure. You don't need to give Aaron Glenn, Freudian slip up. You can't give Aaron Glenn more time. That's it. This is who he is. Not what we thought he was. No Dennis Green punt. This is who he is. He is a mirror image of his predecessors, Robert Saleh, Gase, Todd Bowles, all these guys. You know why I say that? Because he's a loyal man. He is not going to bench Justin Fields. He's not going to cut Michael Clemens. He's not going to have a nice word with Steve Wilks. No, he's not. Nah, he's not. This is who we hire. That's who Leon Hess used to hire, the old owner of the New York Jets. Bruce Coslett, Joe Walton, Lou Holtz, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll turned into like an amazing coach for USC, and then he coached for the Patriots for a little bit. Then he was a defensive coordinator for the Niners, and then all of a sudden, big-time head coach, right? Leon Hess wasn't good at making moves. Rich Kotite. Then at a certain point, there was a crossroads with Senor Hess. Couldn't take it anymore. He said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to go out and get the best. Now, before, I remember this very, very closely, in 97, before he made this hire, superstar Grand Slam hire, every New York Jet fan was saying the same thing that every New York Jet fan is saying right now. Who in their right mind wants to come to coach the New York Jets? Who wants to come here? We got no quarterback. We got no receivers. We got no line. We got no defense. We got nothing. And the taxes. All of a sudden, these millionaires, the taxes. Hess opened up his wallet, backed the Bring truck right up, and gave Parcells full autonomy. He turned the 1-15 squad into a 9-7 team, one game shy of the playoffs. One of the biggest turnarounds in NFL history. 98, you guys already know this story. AFC Championship game. Fairy tales for us Jet fans. Continue to lose. And I'm going to bring on Luke in just a second. Before this season started, this is what I kept hearing. That the 2026 quarterback draft class was elite, was awesome. This was the narrative. Well, you know what? If we caught lightning in a bottle with Justin Fields, by all means, let's take it. But if we don't, at least we got the 2026 draft class. Now that we have sole possession of the number 1 overall pick, and no one's taking that away from us. Now I'm hearing that this draft class isn't that great. Imagine that. We're 0-6. We're not beating the Carolina Panthers. Get that out of your mouth. We're not. We're going to go into the bye 0-8. These players have checked out. This is what you want as a Jet fan. All these teams that I had told you about before, the Saints, even the Bengals with Joe Burrow, the Rams also sucked before Vermeil and Kurt Warner. All these teams, they needed an awakening point within their franchise historic period. This is it for the New York Jets, this right now. When you watch the Jets play and you're rooting for them to win, then you know not better, because this is what you want to see every year. The culture is not going to change. It's not. We've reached a crossroads right here and now. It's a fire sale. Fire sale. Make this job opportunity for any legitimate head coach to say, this is too good of an opportunity to pass up. I have the number 1 overall draft pick. There might be another first rounder in there. There might be multiple second rounders. There might be multiple third rounders. Let's look at this roster here, fellas. Let's look at this roster. Fire sale. Quinnen Williams. Bye. Give me a third rounder for him. Bye-bye. Breece Hall. Give me a fourth rounder for him. I don't care. Something. Michael Carter, the second. Synonymous to the first, because soon he won't be on the team. Give me a fifth. Alan Lazard, give me a seventh. Harrison Phillips, who we traded for, give me a fourth. Jarvis Brownlee, we traded for him. Give me a fifth. Austin McNamara, the freaking, oh my goodness. The best player on the team right now is a punter. Most valuable. Send him off. Have Josh Myers kick punts. I don't care. Get yourself a fourth. Sauce Gardner. Oh, not him. He's too good. He's too good. You know who's really good? Marshall Faulk on the Indianapolis Colts. That guy was good. And the Colts said, we need to really build this team, this squad. If a team offers a second rounder, Sauce is gone. Gone. Garrett Wilson, I don't want to trade him. You don't either. But if there's a psycho team out there that is willing to give us 2 first-round picks for Garrett Wilson, that is part of the fire sale. This locker room is broken. And the players that are in it, it's cancerous. They're going to affect all the young players that come in. Okay? So if you can get what you can, do it. From now, okay. All right. The guy that has 6 rings is telling us, of course, you want us to suck forever. I get it. My whole thing is this. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of doing things ass backwards. The New York Jets need to do a full reset, not a partial reset. Not hiring the head coach and then having the head coach hire the GM. Enough of this nonsense. I will tell you right now, the Baltimore Ravens continue to suck. John Harbaugh is out. Every good coach has a certain amount of time with their organization. Andy Reid, in 2012, his last season with the Philadelphia Eagles was 4-12. The last game of the season, he got blown out by the New York Giants, 42-7. The Eagles let him go. You know what a lot of people said? Andy Reid, the game passed him. He did what he did. Good job for him, with Donovan McNabb. And, the Eagles were horrendous. Between the eras of Randall Cunningham and Donovan McNabb, there was this lull with Bubby Brister, Bobby Hoying, and horrible quarterbacks. Horrendous. But at that point, when Andy Reid got the boot, nobody wanted to touch him. Nobody. Tell me, Jet Nation, if Andy Reid was available right now, you wouldn't take him. See, I value that experience at head coach, just like you guys do. John Harbaugh becomes available. Before you do anything, you call up the Detroit Lions and you ask for permission. You say, I would like to speak to John Dorsey. That's your GM. Your GM is John Dorsey. Your head coach is John Harbaugh. You have the first overall draft pick, boatload of picks, people that you can trust in that organization. And 2026 will look a lot different. With that, I'm going to bring on Luca. Luca, what's up, my man?
Good evening to everybody, including Dan, everybody in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And Dan brought up a lot of good points. Jets are 0-6, bottom of the barrel. You know, people will tout progress because they some not all. You know, they were close to the Broncos, all these different things. And, you know, it's a lost season for us. We're at the bottom of the barrel. How could it get any worse, Dan? But every week we say that. Mm-hmm. Yet we find new ways. Justin Fields had 45 passing yards today and negative 10 net passing yards.
Good.
And everybody can say I loved Aaron Glenn as a former Jet and all these things. He's in over his head. I'm pretty much done with him. I don't know how much progress you could tout. B, how much progress could you have late enough in the season to where you could say, hey, bring this guy back? Because these first 6 weeks have been disastrous. And people are going to say, oh, well, you know, this wasn't going to be built in 1 year. The Jets weren't supposed to win this year. Give it a chance. Give it time. That's what I was told last week. But no, even the most optimistic of fans are like, wait, what the hell is going on here? Something's not right. Something's wrong with this coach. When this coach is going out here in press conferences, right? Was either Connor Hughes or Brian Costello. You going to start Justin Fields next week? What kind of question is that? Who the hell are you, bro? Who the hell are you to talk down to the media at 0-6? He's talking about what he did with the Detroit Lions. Bro, you weren't the head coach. You were an average defensive coordinator. And the only reason you got hired is because, A, because of the 33rd team, and B, because you were a former Jet and used to play for the franchise, and you were a Pro Bowler at that. If Joe Cat mentions it all the time, if this was Jason Sehorn or whatever player you can think of, whatever former player that didn't play for the Jets, the fans wouldn't have as much patience. It's 6 games. No player's gotten better. The defense played well today. Okay, but that needs to be progress shown in weeks ahead. Mm-hmm. That can't just be like, okay, one good week. Because you know what, Dan? Here's the thing. The defense could easily say, you know, they had their players only meeting this week. It seemed to have worked. The defensive leaders like Sherwood and Jermaine Johnson, all these guys could be like, wait a second. We played our asses off. We held a players-only meeting. We took accountability, but yet the offense handicapped the team the entire game, number one. Number two, Aaron Glenn is still sticking with Justin Fields.
The best.
The same stuff we did with Zach Wilson.
Yep.
You know, we criticized Saleh for how he handled Zach Wilson. I think we should do the same for Aaron Glenn. If we're talking about a winning attitude, if we're talking about winning. And I've heard people say, you know, maybe this is a part of the plan for a tank. Okay, so if we're going to go along with that theory, which Dan might be a part of, I do not want, as Dan said in the open, I do not want Glenn. I do not want Muji. I do not want Rick Spielman. I want none of them in the building when they have to choose the quarterback. I do not want them at the Senior Bowl. I do not want them at the Shrine Bowl. I do not want them at pre-combine workouts. I do not want them at combine workouts. I do not want them at pro days. I do not want them sniffing this next quarterback. I do not. This is so bad on so many levels. You don't know as I said, there's nobody getting better on either side of the ball. How can I trust this? And Dan, you brought up a good point, talking about John Harbaugh, what a potential staff could look like, all these different things, right? If the Jets hit rock bottom as a franchise, let me say this for the record. 14 years of watching this team, this is the worst Jets team I've ever seen.
The worst.
The worst.
I couldn't agree more, because there's something that's funny, right?
Right.
The Jets normally say, The Kotite years. The Kotite years. And we all know it's 95, 96. This has eclipsed it, and it's very close to becoming the Glenn years. So
Yes.
20 years from now, we might say, oh my goodness, this had, hopefully not, but judging by how the Jets do business, we could say, oh my goodness, this coach, it reminds me of that Glenn year where we went 0-17. Now, I want to bring this up here because Elmo brings up a very good point, and there's a lot of people that say, wait a minute, there's no way that Woody's going to get rid of this guy. Woody is paying Glenn about $12 million a year, right? And a lot of fans are like, nah, there's no way that Woody would ever can him. Woody got embarrassed in England. And let me learn you guys something. Billionaires know how to circumvent finances, in which claiming a loss is part of the business. Woody knows he can make up what is given to Glenn in other avenues of interest. Let me make that clear. These people, they're not your typical Joe walking down the street. It's not. Probably today, Sunday, October 12th, the interest collected in Woody Johnson's bank account probably superseded many of our yearly salary. And you're telling me that if Woody says 0-17, no, I got to keep him. I got to keep him. No, it don't work like that for these multi-billionaires. If he gets embarrassed, he has his inner circle of billionaires. He doesn't want to look foolish when he goes to these nice hors d'oeuvre, freaking tuna tartare parties. No, they're going to look at him and say, how are you elevating your business? How is it? How are you doing it? Robert Kraft laughs at Woody Johnson when they go to these little parties. They all laugh. They laugh. That's why at an 0-17, which is highly probable, fellas, we play against the Carolina Panthers next week. What you saw today in England is exactly what you're going to see at MetLife next week. 0-7 guaranteed. Now, I want to pick your brain, Luca, on the fire sale players. Mm-hmm. The trade deadline is what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, close to about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we have a lot of time wheeling and dealing. And let me tell you guys something. As soon as the first trade happens, I don't care who it is, the team will finally throw in the towel and say, well, I guess everyone has caved in the organization. It's a free-for-all. I'm going to try my best on Sunday to showcase my skill because I guess I'm not going to be part of this program. Who is the first one that falls in the trade market, Luca, for the Jets?
Breece Hall. Without a doubt, it's Breece Hall, in my opinion. There's Rappaport mentioned it, that Kamara and Breece Hall are the two players that have been getting the most interest. I guess at their respective positions. There's no to me, like, people say, oh, keep Breece Hall for the sake of the rookie quarterback next year. No, running backs, you can draft one in the third, fourth round. There's no reason you have to draft one, in the second, in the first. Oh, you have to pay Breece Hall. You don't have to pay. You don't have to do crap.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay Breece Hall because to this point, has he played up to his draft status? I don't think so. He had a good 2022 before he got hurt. 2023 was trying to bounce back. The Jets tried to murder him in the last game, try to kill him by basically running him every play to get his 1,000 yards, except the Jets got that wrong. 2024, he wasn't himself. In 2025, besides 1 or 2 games with 100 rushing yards, we haven't really seen much. Obviously, that's not all his fault because the offense is somewhat predictable, and you have Justin Fields at quarterback, which I've explained many times, that if your quarterback doesn't make throws, it does not open anything up for the run game. You faced a phenomenal defense this week in the Broncos, and that didn't help matters. Breece Hall's still talented. Anybody who tells you that this is like some sort of barren roster is lying to you. I'm not going to sit here saying this is a great roster, But barren or expansion roster is ridiculous
That's right.
because you have players like Sherwood, Sauce Gardner, all these different guys on the defensive side of the ball. They're talented. They're just being misutilized. So Breece Hall, I think, in summation, is the first domino to fall for the Jets.
To me, it's Quinnen Williams.
I
think Quinnen is the first one, and I think he's going to San Francisco. I think he would do excellent there. I think it's going to be him and Sherwood. I think both of those players are going to go 1, 2, and then Breece. Because I think the Jets are going to try to hold on to Breece until they can get the best they can. Because again, yes, running backs are a dime of the dozen, but in the season itself, when you need someone, there's going to be a lot of teams vying for that. I think Sherwood, with his contract, I think it's cap friendly. I think it's they're probably going to garner maybe a fourth. And again, I'm not going to be picky as a Jet fan. I'm not going to be picky. I'm going to be like, oh no, Quinnen is definitely worth. I want them out of here. I want to go into the 2026 draft class with a minimum of 10 picks. Minimum. I want the new GM, well, hopefully it's John Dorsey, to say, all right, this is what I have at my disposal. I got the first overall draft pick. I'm selecting at the top of every round. How do I move all these back end picks a little higher so I could have my core guys, my guys? That's why I'm done with Sauce Gardner. Guys, the honeymoon is over. This is who he is. This is what he was doing in his first year, but they weren't calling him. He grabs people. Fellas, he grabs people. That's it. Holding. Maybe now it comes to light why the Texans chose Derek Stingley before give me Stingley any day. Any day. I mean, Sauce, number one, have a cough drop, bro. Every time you're talking like, dude, I'm done with him. Done. Bye. Not part of the plans anymore. Someone calls, I'll give you a third rounder for him. Bye. Gone. Why are we trying to keep these Jet favorites as fans when they have gotten us nowhere? Nowhere. You watched the game today. You watched it. You watched it last week. It's embarrassing. Start from zero. That's what I'm saying. Do things the right way. I'm done. Yeah, Ice Spice. Maybe. I don't, all of them. Caitlin, I'm with you. Enough is enough. I'm just so sick of it. And it's not just these past 15 years. It's all of these years as a Jet fan. All of them. And you have a couple of like EKG blips up there, upticks, 98. Then 99 was your typical Jet kind of season with Vinny going down. Uptick number 2, 2002. Chad Pennington. Again, we can't just roll into the playoffs. We have to wait for this team to lose, hope that they sit down Peyton Manning, and we could, beat up on that was it Jamie Painter or whatever the guy's name. That guy, and then we go back and we're praying. We're praying all the time. This is like a religious kind of organization that you got to pray in order to get in. You don't play to get in. You pray to get in. And I hate that. But when you have a full reset, and you do things the right way, it's been proven. Luka, it's been proven when you do things the right way. Absolutely. You can change the franchise. That's why I want to let you rant as well. That's why I don't buy this. Oh, the Jets are cursed. Oh, they're cursed. Stop. The Browns were cursed. You know what I mean? The Lions were cursed. The Saints. Luka, do you remember how bad the Saints were before Drew Brees, or it was before your time?
It was before my time. I forget. Sorry.
It's all right. The Saints will do that to you.
Yeah, Saints will do that to me. I forget the quarterback's name. Last name was Brooks, I think.
Aaron Brooks.
Aaron Brooks used to play for the Saints, and that was obviously before my time amongst that. But, you're right. The Saints were nothing before Drew Brees. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
That's why I can't just say no, that's it. It's a done deal because it can change. Look at these quarterbacks. Yesterday you had a plethora of first round talent quarterbacks that are going to declare. Again, you had Fernando Mendoza. You had what was it? Lenoris Sellers, right? That's the name.
Yeah,
Lenoris
Sellers,
right? Then you have this poor kid that freaking now is on IR, Drew Alar. You had Dante Moore, Arch Manning, John Mateer, and Garrett Nussmeier. All these quarterbacks, to me, are viable, possible franchise quarterbacks. Why not? Why not? Why not? And you said something interesting before the show, and I want you to kind of echo it about choosing the best. Go for it.
I said to Dan, being at number one, you get a pick of the litter. Now, this isn't a draft class. I mean, we're still midway through the college season. Obviously, a lot of things to be determined, playoffs and all these different things. But if you're at one, let's just sit, and you have your ranking system, right? You have a draft board. You could choose any of the quarterbacks you like, whether you like Mendoza, Dante Moore, Garrett Nussmeier, John Mateer, whoever. You get to choose any of them. At number one. At number two, you could probably only choose three. Or one of the three. When you're at number one, you could choose one of the four. And let's get into number one pick. It's not just about the quarterback. And I will continue to say this. People will deny it and all these different and say whatever. I still think that 2020 win versus the Rams is still costing us right now because we never got that proven head coach. We had to settle for Robert Saleh. Listen, people were bought in, CEO, leader of men. He wasn't. But, I was bought into Saleh for a little bit. Regardless, the Jets have not had that proven coach. Imagine a scenario where the Jets are went 0-16 in 2020, and they had Jim Harbaugh calling, saying, "Hey, I'll definitely come to the Jets. Give me the power, cap space, a lot of draft assets." And let me tell you this: back in 2020, obviously, it was a Sam debate whether you want to keep Sam or you want to trade back and support Sam with draft picks and weapons and all that. Then you or you want to trade him, trade back still, whatever. The number one overall pick, whether, let's just say whoever, you like Dante Moore, but you don't value him at exactly number one. You could trade back, get a boatload, and still draft your quarterback. But the number one overall pick is not always about the quarterback. I mean, it's going to be in this scenario because we need one so desperately. But it's going to be about the marketing tool for the head coach, right? Next year, as I said, I do not want Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji making this quarterback pick.
Correct.
Based on what we've seen right now, because there's nothing really good you can point to. And people will say, "Oh, hire Todd Monken, hire so-and-so." I want a proven offensive head coach. I don't want to do the coordinator route. This mess that the Jets are in listen, I was for an offensive coordinator last year. I was for Liam Cohen. I was for Kingsbury, whoever. You can run down the names. Todd Monken. This is not a situation for a first-time coordinator anymore. This isn't like, oh, well, we just need a coach to get us over the hump. This is not like hiring Matt LaFleur to be the Green Bay Packers. We are so deep in the crapper as Jet fans and as the team and the organization. They need a proven guy. And let's just say a John Harbaugh shakes free. I definitely take it, especially with a hopefully good coaching staff he could build. He could say, hey, Todd Monken, OC, DC, Wink Martindale, whoever. That guy walks in with instant credibility. This isn't some hotshot coordinator, whether it's defensive or offensive or special teams. You have no credibility that way. The Jets have no credibility as an organization. You need a proven GM. You need a proven head coach. That's how it starts. I don't want to, as Dan, you remarked, I don't want to hear about money. I don't want to hear about how much Aaron Glenn's getting paid because I think Woody's a hypocrite for that. Because all these years he had a chance to get Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton. He could have paid the first. He could have fired Saleh, paid a first round pick for Sean Payton's services. He could have fired Saleh and went after Mike Vrabel or Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
He had those chances, and I know ifs and buts and whatever. You have a chance now. Again, we'll see who's available in the offseason. There might be more coaches available than we think. But at this very moment, let's just say Harbaugh shakes free. I'm not the hugest fan of Gruden. I'm not the hugest fan of Mike McCarthy for my own reasons and football reasons at that. You need someone to build a winning culture and stability. Mike McCarthy's not going to – let's just put it out there. Mike McCarthy is not going to take you to Super Bowl. But you need to set a winning culture. Next year, like here, well, let me ask you this, Dan. Let's just say you're a Glenn optimist and say, you know what? Let's say the Jets pick up a couple wins at the end of this year, which I don't think would be sustainable, but whatever. Let's say you're that optimist, right? What's your expectations for next year with drafting a quarterback? Are you trying to do what you tried to do this year, where you're trying to compete and play meaningful games in December, or are you trying to make the playoffs with the rookie quarterback? To me, I don't think those are surmountable options. In my opinion.
They're not. They're not. Like, again, you see a head coach like Brian Daboll in his first year. You saw what he was trying to do with Daniel Jones, right?
There was a lack of wide receiver help around Daboll and Jones.
Yes.
And they played well because Daboll coached up Daniel Jones. They ran the RPO system very well. Also, as well, he made very much of the talent around him. They had a really good defense. They were one of the least penalized teams in the league.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. And that's the thing, right? Like, yes, he had some up and down years the following two, but you could see that there was some sort of a plan. There was some strategy involved. There were some schemes. Aaron Glenn doesn't have that. He has the same kind of demeanor as a Saleh, Gase, Bowles. Bowles is doing great, by the way. I guess sometimes it does take a good 8, 9, 10 years for you to become really good. But getting back to Glenn, he's so over his head. And if he does land the number 1 overall draft pick and he does select whoever it is, yes, next year it's going to be, let's see if we could win 4 games. Then something interesting happens. Year 2, they miss the playoffs, and it's the same results that we're seeing right now. And then Woody has an epiphany, as he always does, a year too late. He gets rid of Aaron Glenn. And then there's no options. That's what I'm afraid that's going to happen, is that Glenn might win a couple of meaningless games, 3, 4 games, which I don't even see it. But knowing the Jets, when it doesn't count anymore, Woody holds on to him. And then you got a guy like Harbaugh staring you right in the face. And he's like, nope, I got to be loyal to the guy I signed last year, which is Aaron Glenn. That's why, to me, I look at it as a lose-lose keeping Glenn. There's nothing sustainable. There's nothing substantial there in keeping Aaron Glenn. And so many people are like, no, I got to give him time. You got to those fans that say you got to give him time. What are you expecting? Honestly, after what you saw 6 weeks, what are you expecting from Aaron Glenn? There's no adjustments in game. None. There's no accountability.
Dan, did you see that time management at the end of the
first
half?
Best.
That was disgusting.
Oh my goodness. It made no sense. I'm watching this. It's a 4th and 1, fake punt, then first down. Time was winding down, and he draws up a draw. What are you doing? What is this?
They were like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And Glenn was just like, yeah, you just stay out there. And then Garrett Wilson was just ranting on him, which I don't blame him, because Garrett Wilson, he's the true leader of the team and he's going after, like, he's basically saying to the coach, what the F are you doing? But Dan, I think you said everything about the whole Glenn thing and about drafting and the whole thing about next year and, lack of foresight, expectations, all these different things. The one thing, and you have to decide it this year. And I said this about the Giants last year, because we don't know, like, most people speculated that Daboll was going to be on the hot seat. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a chance he's not, because he drafted his quarterback. And you see how Jackson Dart's playing. They won 2 games with him already in the 3 games he's played. He's 2-1. Saints game, didn't do too well. Receivers, turnovers, all these different things. The Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions that Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo teamed up to beat. Here's why you have to make that decision this year if you're keeping Glenn or not. Because if you want to be following some sort of plan, you don't want that rookie quarterback changing systems in year 2. We've done that. We've seen that as Jet fans where they're changing systems. So this year you decide, is Glenn good enough to be your head coach, number 1, number 2, to draft your quarterback? Because realistically, if you don't fire him this year, you shouldn't fire him next year either, because he's going to try to go with the rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterback's going to try to learn Tanner Engstrand's system. You don't want to throw him in a second system. So this year is more monumental than people think. It can't be like, oh, well, we can fire Glenn next year. No, because we've seen how to destroy a young quarterback, whether it's multiple systems, whether it's not sitting, all these different scenarios we've ran through. Sanchez, Darnold throwing it to the fire, Zach Wilson throwing it to the fire. And, we'll have Justin Fields next year. Maybe he'll start a few games and then let the rookie quarterback play. But the essential thing is Glenn, you have to make your decision this year. Is he good enough to build up the winning culture? Is he good enough to help develop a quarterback where he can stay an additional 2 years? And I don't think he is. I'm sorry. I gave him every chance. I wasn't a fan of the hiring, but I gave him every chance. And I'm sure we're going to have guests on, and we're going to do all the debates and stuff, but
we're going to bring on, yes, I completely agree with that. And that, we're going to bring on Armand in just a second. I was a big fan of Aaron Glenn at Texas A&M. Big fan when he was with the Jets. There was a lot of pride. There was a lot of passion in there. And when he became head coach of the Jets, immediately I thought of Herman Edwards. Herman Edwards, when he came here, he changed that culture. And it was kind of a segue from the Parcells era to Al Groh, and where I remember hearing Wayne Crabett on WFAN after the press conference, yo, man, he said to Francesa, I want to just run through a brick wall for this guy. That's how much I love hearing what he said. He was a motivator of men. Whether you are a big Herman Edwards fan or you're not, he was a legit head coach in the year 2001 throughout his tenure. Aaron Glenn, right now, 6 weeks into this, I loved him as a player. I can't stand him as a head coach. He has no idea what he's doing. I bet he's a phenomenal person. God bless him, just to get to this point in his career. But as a head coach, he doesn't know the X's and O's, what it takes to be in control of the entire team. The team folded. They're 0-6. They're not making the playoffs. People laugh at us. I was talking to Liam earlier off air, my co-host. He's at a wedding down south. There's a bunch of Carolina Panthers fans. They're jotting the Jets game next week as a win. A team that is as bad as us. They don't respect us. Speaking about respect, I believe it was the first quarter, right before it ended. The Broncos were faced with a 4th and 5 on their own, I think, 42-yard line. They went for it. They converted. And as the clock was winding down to the end of the first quarter, it was 8, 7 seconds, 6 seconds. And I'm hearing this. Bob was choosing and saying, all right, they're going to run out the clock. Oh, no, they're going with one more snap. They caught him off guard. Bomb, touchdown. That, to me, is a veteran head coach and Sean Payton saying, Aaron Glenn, you're not fit for this job. You're way wet behind the ears. You're not good. You are not a good head coach. And not only am I going to go for it on 4th down in the first quarter, but we're going to win the game no matter how you slice it, because you don't have your team well disciplined and well coached. With that, Armand, we welcome you, sir. How are you?
I got power back. I just have my lights off. I have my light lamp on, so that's why you could see me. But we got power back, thank God.
Nice, man. So
I got power back, unlike the Jets having power.
no, they have no power except for Woody Johnson. He has a lot of power over that bank account. So
Mm.
you tell me, man, how are you feeling? Are you pro tank? Are you to the point where you're going to look at these next what is it, 2 games and say, I hope we win?
Oh, I'm pro tank.
Pro tank.
I'm pro tank. You can't make the playoffs. You're 0-6. I get why people want to bench Justin Fields, rightfully so, but he probably did, Elmo.
He
Hi,
probably
Elmo. I
did.
love you, Elmo. He probably did, because I've been calling out his BS since day one.
Mm.
After, like, me and Liam did a show months ago heading into the draft, right after they made their free agency moves, and I remember saying, tell me you're tanking without telling me you're tanking.
Right.
And I said
Yep.
then you should just trade everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you
And-
start off with? Who would you start off with?
Right now, the easy answer is Brees, but I'd say number one, Quinnen. I think right now you could trade 4 players for the deadline. Others would probably be more in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Quinnen is now at the deadline. Brees is at the deadline. I'll say Lazard, because I do think Rodgers would welcome him in Pittsburgh if Pittsburgh was willing to take him on and just get anything, get a 6th or 7th round pick. I don't care, get a box of popcorn.
Let's play along. I'm going to give you my players, and you let me know, fellas, what are we going to get for this? All right? Are you ready?
Yes.
Like I said, fellas, everyone's on the table. Everybody.
I
And if
agree.
the price is right, Bob Barker is right, you do it. I love Garrett Wilson. I love the guy. But the Indianapolis Colts love the guy named Marshall Faulk. Okay? They liked him. They loved him. They got good compensation for him. That's what happens when you do a full rebuild. I'm not saying trade Garrett for a third or even a first rounder. I'm saying 2 first rounders. And now, as I'm giving you guys this scenario, if you say, you know what, I don't think that we're going to get the amount that I think that we're going to get, we're going to leave it as is. First one, Quinnen Williams. What are we getting?
2nd and a 3rd.
Oh, two picks?
Yes, I think you could get a 2nd and a 3rd.
I was going to say 3rd round pick.
He doesn't have a lot of guaranteed money left on the deal, so that's why I think a team would be willing to give up, especially a Super Bowl contending team.
All right.
Imagine, think about the Chiefs, Quinnen Williams and Chris Jones in the middle of that interior line.
Luca, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you look up the draft picks that the Jets currently have at in the 2026 draft class?
Absolutely.
All right. So far for Quinnen Williams, we have a 2nd and a 3rd rounder. That sounds fair. Now, Sauce Gardner. What are we getting for him? Not that what we want as a Jet fan, but as of right now, you want to take that one, Luca?
Well, I was going to say the Jets only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 picks.
1, 2, 3, 4, and what else?
So it's a round 1, a round 2, a round 4,
Oh,
a round 6, and then 2 7s.
god awful, horrendous.
Remember, we lost a 3rd round pick in the Reddick deal last year.
Yes,
That's
exactly. That's right.
That's why we got to at least get a 3rd round pick back for somebody.
So we got it with Quinnen Williams, 2nd and a 3rd. Now we have Sauce Gardner. Who wants to take that one?
I think he's more of an off-season trade than an in-season trade.
Okay, but for argument's sake, what do we get for
High
him?
2.
A 2nd rounder?
Yeah.
The way how he's playing?
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a team sees potential in which they can restore him back to Pro Bowl
It
form.
would be Luca. Would you agree if it's a high end pick, a first or a second, it would be more 2027, 2028?
Possibly, but would I really would a competent GM live with that? Like, would you like Armin? Are you saying like it could be like 2 picks, where it could be like, I don't know, a third or a fourth in next year, and then the year after it's a second? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I can see that.
Like the high end pick, a first or a second would be 27 or 28, and maybe this year is either a third or a fourth.
I'm going to push back on this one because remember, we're trying to acquire picks in order to entice a big time head coach. Can we do this? I'll meet you halfway. Trade him before the deadline, conditional third that can turn into a second if he snags 3 or more interceptions.
I think the condition would have to be how the team advances in the playoffs, almost like how in the NHL they do it.
Or could it be maybe player awards like Pro Bowl or something like that?
Well, Luke, I think Dan's looking for a 2026 pick.
Yes,
Okay.
2026.
So that's why I'm
Got
saying
it.
it has to be based on how the team does in the playoffs that he goes
Yep.
to.
So conditional
That's why,
second.
Like if they get to the let's say it's an NFC team. Let's say the Eagles. Eagles get to the NFC title game, the 3rd round pick becomes a 2nd round pick. They get to the Super Bowl, or even if they win the Super Bowl, it becomes their first.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Time out. New York Jets superfan, we love you, man. We got to stop with this. You know who's undervaluing the Jet fans? Are these multi-million-dollar players that have this performance on a Sunday morning. That's who are in this locker room. They're looking at the sport as, I'm just going to go there, just collect a check and leave. This is the mentality that we have there. We got to get rid of these guys fully. Sauce Gardner, first year, phenomenal. The past 2 years, especially this year, way underperforming, beyond. I can't. Okay, so let's keep going. Sauce, at this point, what are we getting? A conditional second?
Yeah, that's what I say.
We're not getting a first.
Well, the condition would be turning into a first.
I'm sorry, conditional third.
If they get to the conditions, let's say it's a conditional third. They get to the NFC title game, it becomes a second.
Thank you,
They
James.
get to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, it becomes a first.
Oh, wow.
Copying you're copying like the NHL, because there are deals that,
So, you know what? Would you be okay with that, New York Jets super fan? A conditional first, then you're saying. So he starts off as a third, then it can turn into a second based off of how deep they go into the playoffs, and it can turn into a first. So that would mean a high second rounder, if anything. Right?
based on the team that trades for him.
Right. Exactly. So let's go second rounder.
Okay.
Yeah? That sound
That's
second
fine,
rounder.
yeah.
Jermaine Johnson. He's fully healed. Love the guy. High motor. But again, full rebuild. As of right now, we have 9 picks. 9 picks right now. A first rounder, 3 second round picks, a third rounder, 4, 6, 7, 7. Yes, Caitlin, you nailed it. You nailed it. On Jets Twitter Spaces, we call that Jets good. Not NFL good, Jets good. Where Jet fans overvalue what they have. Like all of a sudden, you think of Sauce Gardner, number 1, big, long, lanky. Marcus Coleman was big, long, lanky, and played harder than Sauce Gardner has played this past year. You nailed it with this one. Amazing. All right, let's go. Jermaine Johnson. If a team comes calling, what are you taking for Jermaine Johnson? We picked up his 5th-year option, right? Did we? I thought we did.
But
It's
an
possible.
extension still has to come with him, so
Mhm.
he might get he might be able to get you a third and a future fourth, or a future third and a fourth rounder this year, just because an extension has to come with him.
Third, third or fourth? Where are we going with this?
I'll
Let's
say-
look at it objectively, very objectively. Third or fourth? I'm going to go fourth.
Would you do a conditional fourth?
Yes.
And that can be a third? Because that's what I'm thinking. Because we all know he has the talent. It's his ability to stay on the field.
Okay. So what would be the condition, though?
Good question. I guess. Cool. I mean, maybe we do the same thing as what we did with Sauce Gardner, based on potential team accomplishments.
Mhm.
Maybe in the future, maybe something like that. I'm not totally sure, but third or fourth round pick makes sense.
I'm going to go conditional fourth. So I'm going to leave it at that fourth
Okay.
right now. Brees Hall. What do we get for Brees?
Because he's a running back, I think you're going to get a fifth.
That's what I was gonna say.
Perfect. Fifth rounder. No conditions on that one. We just got to get rid of him.
Just number 5.
All right. Very cool. Now we go with Michael Carter II. He's injured right now, so that might lower his draft status. What do you think?
Probably a 5 or a 6. Maybe I'm wrong. Armin's on mute.
Maybe a pick swap. You give up one of the sevens to get a sixth,
That's true. You do have 2 7s next year.
or maybe you give up the 2 sevens to get a fifth back, like Brees and the 2 sevens to get back a fifth.
So
Possible.
2 7s and you get a fifth. I like that one. So MC2 garners you a fifth. Okay. Just no, this one's no. Alan Lazard.
7th. Is he really even worth anything at this point? I mean, 7th at best, probably.
For Aaron Rodgers, yes. So he can give you a sixth. Alan Lazard. Sixth. All right.
Caitlin, AVT's out for the season, so you can't get anything for him.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't trade an
He's
injured
gone.
player.
Harrison Phillips.
I think you're going to get a day 3 pick, maybe a sixth or a seventh.
Yeah, he's good, but he's more of a role player type of guy. He's not a star.
Sixth. Jarvis Brownlee. I know we just traded for him.
They're keeping him.
They
Yeah, I
keep
don't
him.
think they traded him.
What about this interesting guy? Austin McNamara.
They're not trading the punter.
You're not trading.
They're
a
not
punter.
trading the punter.
You wouldn't?
I don't see. I'll be honest.
Those teams don't trade for punters. They just signed up from the.
He's really good.
Listen, he's good, but I don't think any team's going to say, "Hey, I'm going to give up assets for a punter."
Okay.
Listen, he's not like, oh my, like he's not that good enough where we're at a value position of value. We can say, okay, we're going to get like good assets for him. What are we going to get for a punter?
Punters are like
That's like trading for a kick returner. That's
punters are like the Luca's gonna like this, like Rich Hill, like those 35-year-old starting pitchers.
Yeah, stick mount. Yep.
Relievers. Like you just find them anywhere.
Check this out. If we follow this through, right, we have a first rounder, 3 second rounders, a third rounder, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, 3 sixes, and 2 sevens. That's 14 picks for the new head coach, the new GM. And when I say new head coach, new GM, I'm talking about someone, a veteran. Veterans like John Dorsey, John Harbaugh, guys like that. This is what it takes to at least lure potential candidates, you know, where Woody Johnson, I'm hoping, yes, I'm hoping, but it's where I keep referencing to Leon Hess. It's to that point where he was sick of losing. It sucks losing. I can only imagine for a multi-billionaire. Look, the more you have, the more you want. Let's play it safe here. You can't say, "Oh, Woody Johnson doesn't care. He doesn't care." Stop. No, of course the guy cares. This is
Well, he cares about his pockets, and he makes the money from the TV deals that they make, the media rights deals.
Bottom line. That's what he cares about, the bottom line.
And remember, they make money like this. Every jersey that's sold gets split between every team. A Dak Prescott jersey just doesn't go to Dak or the Cowboys. It gets shared.
Yeah, it's
with
revenue
every
sharing.
team. The revenue sharing.
And he's still, listen, let's call it what it is. He's also still making money with
that's right.
opposing fans going to the stadium. It's not like you're seeing two crap teams playing, right? You had the Cowboys last week. They were taking over the stadium. Steelers, you don't think they were taking over the stadium? The Bills fans, just wait. There's
Bengal
more
fans
money
will
to be
be
made
there.
for Woody.
Sherwood. That's right. Thank you, Caitlin. What do we
Wow,
get for Sherwood? I completely
They probably day 3 pick because he's played poorly in that contract.
fifth.
I'm actually going to throw Uno reverse. I think they trade Quincy Williams if he gets healthy.
I agree. I think Quincy over Sherwood because they might get something better.
Mm.
Like I could see a 4th for Quincy.
And also, somebody mentioned this on Twitter. Fred Warner's hurt.
Oh yeah, broken ankle out
Yep.
for the season.
After the season,
Oh, you know what? I could see something
Hmm.
to where both brothers want to be traded to the same team, Quinnen and Quincy. Remember,
good, just the
as
more
as
assets.
as much as Quinnen is an interior rusher, an interior lineman, the 49ers lost Bosa. You could
Right.
try to Quincy and Quinnen to the Niners.
You get double the assets.
So
Yes.
now you have about 15, 16 picks. Think about it. It sounds astronomical, right? 16 picks. And you're picking at the top of every single, except for the 3rd and the 5th rounds, right? Because you have to trade in order to get back in with these assets here, with Quinn Williams getting a 3rd, and Brees and MC2 for the 5th. You have the core there. You could actually replicate the 2006 draft. You guys remember that one with Mangini? How he got, again, Mangold, DeBrickshaw, again, later rounds, Drew Coleman, Eric Smith,
Brad Smith.
then Leon Washington.
Washington.
These were all playmakers, and they all contributed quickly. And you had a head coach there, Mangini, who knew talent. Let's be honest. As much as we want to crap on the guy, he knew how to work these players and how to scout. He was very good at it. You have something like that, the fortunes of this franchise can change very fast. That's why I'm very pro Tank on this. I don't even see where we could win a game. Like, this is how bad it is, fellas. This is how it was with the Kotite years. There was no fight. There was no pride. There was none of that. Adam Gase in 2019, when we beat, what are they? The Rams. 2020. Frank Gore was there. All right. He had a lot. The pride was there. You had infectious players there saying, you know what? F the fans, F the number 1 overall pick. Let's go to LA and let's win the game. You don't have that here, guys. You don't have it. Because a lot of these players, as we just went through, they're being shipped out. All of these guys. Anthony Schlegel, nice one, Ephraim. Nice one. Nice dig. Nice one. Kellen Clemens, my man from Oregon. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have that. In 95, 96, those players, they checked out, man. All of them. They all checked. They just wanted the season to end. They were even saying the slogan, just end the season. They were embarrassed. They were embarrassed to put on the New York Jet logo on. This is the same here. This is the exact same. But with that being said, there's a silver lining here. Silver lining is that if we hold the number 1 overall draft pick, we get the pick of the litter. All these guys. Yo, Fernando Mendoza looks legit, man. Yo, Luca, can you give me a breakdown on Mendoza?
I mean, I don't know, like, in terms of scouting and stuff. Maybe I'll look for a scouting report. But you know what? I'll say this for the record. Like, let's just say we have, like, double-digit picks next year. Doesn't mean we're going to use all of them, folks.
Right.
We could trade up for a player in the second or third round.
Or
And
the
it's
first.
or first. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Because like Dan said, we have 3 seconds, ours and the 2 that we got in our trade ideas.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, right? You get a proven coach next year, hopefully, and a proven GM. You say, you know what? Listen, we got all these picks. We could trade up. And we also got some cap space. We can compete next year. None of this will win 6 games, we'll win 4 games. None of these double-digit losses nonsense. You can compete next year in the right scenario. You pick the right head coach, you pick the right GM, and obviously the right head coach and GM is very subjective. But I'm pulling up Bleacher Report right here. Here's some Mendoza for you. High football IQ and quick post-snap processing. He reads coverages well and identifies vulnerabilities based on the play call. Strong understanding of how to play the quarterback position, good at dissecting defenses, possesses good arm talent, good sense of pressure in the pocket, which is not Justin Fields, and a functional straight line athlete. He can rip off 10-yard runs and keeps the chains moving if protection breaks down. Areas of improvement, not a designed running quarterback, I guess a little more pocket passer. Eye manipulation post-snap, needs to continue developing ability to hold and manipulate second, third-level defenders with his eyes. Needs to have more nuance. Developing answers at the line of scrimmage against simulated pressure looks, so I guess against pressure, which he has to work on. Projected as a first-round starter. Pro comparison, Matt Ryan.
Oh, wow. Matt Ryan. I'm with it. I like Matt Ryan.
Of course. And Mogul says, I said that we could compete this year. Listen, I'll tell you what. I said at the beginning of when I was doing my stream with Frankie, I said this team should be able to win 7 games, but I think they win 5. We're not even close to that right now. So next year is real. If we're talking about our dream scenario where we get a head coach and all that, rookie quarterback, you start playing meaningful games in September and September, because the season was over by October. But December, all that, 8 or 9 wins, you try to punch your ticket to the playoffs. Once again, I'm tired of these people coming out here saying, "Oh, it doesn't take 1 year." Okay, say that for Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels.
Thank you.
Say that for Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, turning that franchise around. Say that for Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. You don't have to have an elite quarterback. And people say, "Oh, Justin Fields, this, that, and the third." That was Aaron Glenn's choice at quarterback. They knew who he was. They knew he was damaged goods, and they still went with him. And they're still not going to bench him.
Nope.
Word to
That's
the
right.
wise.
Now, Afram, the thing is, right now, whoever we say, you're going to say, he's not coming here. We get it. It's October 12th, and I understand.
I'll answer Afram's question. I think he will come here. The head coach, Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a better shot than Harbaugh, than McCarthy. Like, coming here wise, I think he has a better chance to come here. Now, I do think Glenn's going to stay here. I don't think Woody's going to. Supposedly, Glenn's getting paid $12 million over the next 5 years, so I don't think Woody wants to pay that out. Not saying he can't, because obviously he could. But he counts his dollars and pennies.
I mean, we got a wait and see approach, right, man? So that's the thing. I honestly think it's a good step in the right direction, the way how we're losing. And I know a lot of fans are like, "Oh, you're nuts." Yeah. How can you root against your team? Because I'm looking at the overall success,
the bigger picture,
a bigger picture in the future, man. You just like all these other teams that sucked forever. Cincinnati, Detroit, the St. Louis Rams, forever. The New England Patriots back in the 90s. They all sucked. And then all of a sudden,
The Lions.
The Lions, another one.
They went
sucked.
through so many quarterbacks.
The
With
Tampa Bay
Joey
Buccaneers,
Harrington.
fellas. The
Oh, yeah,
Tampa
the
Bay
Bucs.
freaking Buccaneers. They suck for decades.
I mean the Browns.
The Browns.
The Browns still suck. We're in a race with them between quarterbacks going left and right.
And I'm all for this, and I know that the argument is who has he ever groomed? Honestly, I think he was grooming Chris Sims and he was heading into the right direction until he tried to somersault and ruptured his freaking spleen. At that point, it was a foregone conclusion. But with that being said, why not? If he's available, but again, I get the narrative and whatnot, but I'm more on the side of Armand with Cliff Kingsbury. I'm all for it. I'm okay with it. He's been here as a player, but this is more of an X's and O's guy because we're not going to go that route again. Well, he knows the New York market. I'm talking about the X's and O's market. That's what I'm talking about. And I think he would do great with him just being there. I trust him more choosing the number 1 overall draft pick than Aaron Glenn. 100%. This ain't happening.
Yes. Yeah. I was just about to say, bring that one up. Roger Goodell is not going to force Woody to sell because Woody's not losing any money.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not doing anything outside that publicly to make the NFL look bad.
Right.
This is not a case of Donald Sterling or whatever.
Yeah.
But
right.
I mean, we have the whole Jaime thing, but that's just the Jets organization. They're not suing the NFL. That's a disaster of its own. But
kind of countering this here, right? And I get it. We all want, Woody to sell the team, and we want John Gruden. But just look at how the NFL kind of colluded with the whole Shedeur Sanders thing. Just keep that as the main precedent here.
Mm-hmm.
When all of these NFL teams bind together and say, nope, we're siding with the commissioner, that's what happens. Gruden will never be a head coach in the NFL ever again, fellas. Ever.
I agree.
As much as I like him, no way.
I think that's what me and Afram have been putting out here. Like when his name came up, is all like the emails and everything, and then like the lawsuit is just like him going,
Yeah, that's true.
Afram, I think we all would pray for that, but is the list ever going to get
my goodness
released?
Yeah.
I'll say this. If you compare releasing the Epstein list or Gruden coaching in the NFL, there's a better shot of Gruden coming back to the NFL than the Epstein list being released.
That's fair. More than fair.
It's just
I'll say this. I think I could speak for everybody. The two things we are upset about is the 180 on Glenn and how he's talked from the start of him becoming the head coach till now. Like everything he said has like become a 180, and how the team is on the field, uncompetitive. And I think that's why we are so angry. Is we're 0-6 because we're uncompetitive with a lot of guys that were here last year. Like, if they traded everybody this offseason when Glenn and Muji came in, and this was a team, like, let's just say they did the free agency they did, Cisco, Stevens, but then it was a bunch of draft picks and undrafted rookies, we were 0-6, we'd say, hey, you know what? They traded away everybody, and we're in a different direction.
Right. At what point do you feel, let's be as objective as possible, irregardless of how much Glenn is making this year and whatever the case is, at what point do you think it's possibly tangible where Glenn's job is on the line, where Woody might start thinking, not that he's going to do it, but just pondering the thought, you know what, this has not gone well, and there might be a Gerard Mayo situation. At what point of this season?
I think it was said on Thursday, somebody has to get to Woody that says this coach is willing to come here for this amount of money. Like if word got back to Woody, hey, you have let's say by December they've clinched the number 1 overall pick.
Mhm.
like with 2 weeks left. And Cliff Kingsbury and his agent, he said, look, call it, like he told his agent to call up Woody behind closed doors, just him calling Woody, saying he would come if you fired him. Like, I think Woody would, like, it's going to have to take a head coach that says, I want to be there because you got the number 1 overall pick. And this is the details of what it would take.
What about you, Luca?
It could also be somebody prominent on the Jets. Let's just say Garrett Wilson says, hey, this coach sucks, goes to Woody, says, you know what? You don't get rid of this. Creates another ultimatum. Because he kind of did that with the Rodgers, let's be fair. You know, I love to stay here. I want to be a part of the change. I want to be a part of the culture change. I just don't believe this coach is it. And he could break and Garrett Wilson, you know, knowing more than we do, could break down his reasons why. Selective accountability, you know, Aaron Glenn basically waffling it at every point of tough talk and double talk that he's made. His lack of in-game adjustments, his less than stellar coaching staff. Garrett Wilson could break down the reasons. He could be that, because let's call it what it is. You know, we were bringing up money in jersey sales. Garrett Wilson jerseys will make a lot of money for the Jets. You could be like, Woody could be like, I don't want to lose that investment. I'm paying Glenn $12 million, but I don't want to lose that Garrett Wilson investment where it can make me more money over time.
Great point. I look at it at 0-14. If we're 0-14 at that point, there's got to be some kind of synapse going through Woody's mind to say, all right, you know what? This is south. It's unsalvageable. I can't bring this back next year. I can't. Even though we have the number 1 overall draft pick, if I'm bringing everyone back and I just traded everybody, how do I save face at this point? I think at 0-14, 0-13 at that point, because at that 0-14, you have 3 games remaining. I know one is Buffalo. What are the other 2 games?
Let's look up this Jets schedule, shall we?
That's the one game I think the Jets will win, because there'll be no starters for Buffalo, because they'll clinch the division. They've clinched a playoff spot, possibly home field.
Home against New England, which the way New England's looking right now, they could be possibly in the chase for a playoff spot. Right. I think it's probable. And then the third to last game is away in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, right? Yeah, I'm with you, Elmo. I'm with you. For me, it's right now. It's right now. So I hear what you're saying, Armand, with Buffalo. But number 1, we're playing in Buffalo, right? And I get it that they're going to have their backups. Remember when Trubisky went in there for one play, he went right at Sauce. So I look at these teams as so well coached that even the backup players are actually vying for that competitive advantage in the event they get called upon in the playoffs. Like, I don't think that when these second stringers go in, they're just going to have a good time. They're going there to kind of sharpen their tools, right? To say, all right, you know what? If I get called up in, I don't know, after the bye week or whatever the case is, you know, and I get play in the divisional round, I'm ready to go. And I think at that point, the Jets have been checked out for more than 8 weeks. So I can't really say, oh, that's one of the teams that the Jets will win. I don't think so. They're not playing against teams that are checked out, except for that Saints team. But with that being said, the Saints are at home. Just that environment, even though that they might be out of it, they're going to be.
And you got to see who's quarterbacking for the Saints. It might be Spencer Rattler. It might be Tyler Shuck.
You're right.
If it's Rattler, he's still trying to save not so much the starting quarterback job, because you got to see where the Saints are at in the draft, but just to still have a quarterback job on the Saints.
That head coach for the Saints, you guys have to.
Kellen Moore.
That's his first year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So would you think how things are going right now? They didn't play today, right? The Saints, right? Or they?
Yes, they did. They lost to New England.
They lost to New England, so they still have what one win.
One
One
win
win.
against the Giants.
We're
Yeah.
the only winless team.
Right. So I'm just trying to think by the
Uh,
time they play the Jets, do you think that they probably pulled off another win? Probably like maybe they got 2 wins under the belt because I don't see the Jets winning any game right now up until that Saints game, right? Up until that game, it might be for the number 1 overall draft pick. That's why I need these other teams to continue to win,
Right.
get to 3 wins so the Jets could solidify that first overall pick.
It's probable.
You
It's
know?
certainly probable. Because, like, I don't think Spencer Rattler's played bad. He's not like some. He's. You could argue he's like better than Justin Fields, but he's not like terrible, especially for a mid-round pick. He was
Right.
It's like Saints Dolphins, right? That's a possible game they could win because the Dolphins are doo-doo. They're trash.
I have the Saints schedule up. I'll go through it.
Yeah.
At Chicago next week. Home for Tampa, week 8. They're on the road for weeks 9 and 10. Week 9 at LA against the Rams. Week 10 at Carolina. Week 12, home for Atlanta. Week 13 at Miami. Week 14 at Tampa. Week 15, home for Carolina. Week 16, home for the Jets. Then week 17, they're at Tennessee. Week 18, they're at Atlanta.
There's some winnable games there. Like I see them competitive. You know, like you see the Jets and Glenn doesn't want to bench Fields at all. He doesn't want to bench him. At what point are you putting in Brady Cook? Like at what point are you putting him in just to see what you got? Because you don't want to put in Tyrod. The hell are you putting Tyrod in there if you're 0-10, 0-11? For what? For what
Tyrod
reason?
doesn't have a future here.
Nothing. Why not Brady Cook? Why not after the bye week? You come out. I think we're playing against the Browns or something like that. Start him up. Have something there where I'm not saying that he's the franchise because nobody really knows.
See what you got. See what
you got in there. See
After
what
the
you
bye
got.
week, we're home for the Browns.
What was that?
November
Gabriel
9th, 1
versus.
o'clock.
That's a real barn burner. You got Dylan Gabriel or possibly Shedeur Sanders versus Brady Cook. I'm sure both.
That would be an intriguing game.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Like is Justin Fields versus Shedeur or versus Dylan Gabriel that enticing? Like if let's say Fields is starting that game and Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur have a better game, you know what's going to be said? The Jets should have drafted one of those guys.
You said it. You said it, Armand. Take a shot. See what you got. And that's one thing if you think about it, man, the Jets really effed up, man, this off season, right? Number one, the way how they handled the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. I'm not going to lie. I'll raise my hand. I liked it at first, but then really in hindsight, 2020, that's not how you treat a Hall of Famer. You could have called them, say, hey, look, we're going in a different direction. Peace out, whatever the case is. And then the draft comes. You could have drafted some quarterback, somebody, nobody whatsoever. Brady Cook is the guy.
Undrafted. You
go into this season, the Jets put everything in Justin Fields' hands. They will put
everything on the coaching staff and Fields.
And I'm good with this, Ephraim. I'm more than good. I got to be honest. If this is what it takes,
that's going to happen. Yeah,
I'm good with this. I want this. I want this. If this is what it caused for the Jets to turn the franchise around and get that first overall draft pick with this quarterback draft class, I'm with it. Go for it. You know what, Tony? The crazy thing is, so the Jets went the Zach route, the Fields route. It's like we're going to try out everyone from that 2020 draft class.
Trey Lance is next.
Next.
Even though I said I would have rather have taken him because you would have had competition between him and Tyrod, and possibly if you drafted a quarterback in this class, like how Aaron Gledge said in his press conference, competition, not just in games, but in practice, players were going to compete for roster spots, and that changed.
Right.
It was a total 180 because you guaranteed Fields not just the money, you guaranteed him the starting quarterback job.
You see, I was all over this with
Yes.
Jackson Dart. I was. But with that being said, seeing how inept this offensive scheme is, we would have been doing this guy a huge disservice. Huge. Think about it. We have a running backs coach as quarterback coach. Think about that. What
The
we
tight
would be
ends-
doing.
The tight ends coach is an offensive line coach.
It just gets worse and worse with these guys. But that's why this is a good thing. I keep saying it over and over. This is something that we need. And let me see something else. Let's say if we land the number 1 overall draft pick, we get a quarterback. I wouldn't discount it like maybe in the 3rd round. Like, let's say Drew Alar is still, rehabbing from his injury. I don't know how bad it is, but
Copy Washington with RG3 and Cousins.
yes, like Heath Schuler and Gus Frerotte for us old timers. Like, get him, get the guy, get him in. The more quarterbacks, the better. How many times do we have to replay the fact of the Green Bay Packers in '92? They had, check this out, who was on their roster: Brett Favre, Ty Detmer, Mark Brunell, Aaron Brooks, and Kurt Warner. 5 of them. You kidding me? Keep drafting until you hit with one. If you draft Mendoza 1st overall, but your true franchise is Drew Alar in the 3rd, freaking no-brainer. If you have the right head coach, just like the Niners have, the right effing head coach, they traded up to get Trey Lance. He went down, and they preferred to put Brock Purdy as their franchise quarterback, some 6th rounder or 7th rounder, Mr. Irrelevant. That's who I want here. I want a head coach that knows wins are so much more important than the draft stature of, oh no, we have to go with this one. That's why I will always hold this against Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas. Mike White was the guy. Mike White was the guy for that point in time. It wasn't to drush Zach Wilson. That's it. Zach sucked. That's it. It's not working. Put Mike White and see how far this guy can bring you. But they didn't do that because they had to protect the investment. Look what the investment did. Nothing. Zilch. It set us back like 4 or 5 years. So here, let me see. This one's interesting. I'm going to pull this up here. And you guys tell me, and this is from U Stadium. This is very interesting. And let me know what you think about this. If I can pull this up, that would be awesome.
I was looking at Tankathon. No teams have multiple first in this year's class, just to give everybody the heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So
Insanity, man. Damn, I can't get this going. Trying to get this up here.
Also, we have to worry about Garrett's MRI tomorrow on his knee.
Mm-hmm.
Because he came out and said it's not his hip or his back.
Oh my God. You know what that means?
He didn't get the hip or the back injured. It's his knee. So
you got to play it safe. You got to play it safe. Check this out. What do you guys think about this? Again, this is courtesy of Frankie Vitz. Yep. From U Stadium. Check this out. Are you guys for this? Round 1, Fernando Mendoza. Oh, PFF. I apologize. Elijah Surratt. Wow. Just get the whole entire Indiana roster on there. But this is what I was talking about. Round 4, Drew Alar. What? Why not? Why not? Like to me, this makes sense. Drafting 2 quarterbacks in one draft. You know, obviously there's certain players in there that, you know, we could, you know, supplant and bring other players in there and draft. But to me, you got to come out of this draft with at least 2 quarterbacks. 2 quarterbacks, man.
I'm not against it. My question be, it's going to be those two in Fields as the quarterback roster. Unless, because let's say I don't see Woody doing two things. I don't see him approving cutting Fields and firing Glenn. Like, I think it'd have to be one or the other.
I'm good with keeping Fields, and I'm going to tell you why. I want that veteran presence in the quarterback room. I do. I don't think Justin Fields is a bad quarterback to learn from, like being studious. He seems very respectful.
Oh, yes.
He's not like an outlier, one of those crazy quarterbacks like, oh, who are you to come in here and take my job? No, you want that quarterback there to press the rookie quarterback and have the rookie quarterback earn his stripes, So I'm cool with that, with keeping Justin Fields for one more year, where you have maybe a Drew Allar also learning with Mendoza. So you kind of have that in place. Like, let's say if Allar is showing something, Mendoza is as well, you could always trade Allar for like maybe a 3rd rounder and recoup something. So, yeah, Ricardo.
Yes, Superfan, thank you. I just looked it over again. You are correct.
Mhm.
Dallas and the Rams have 2 first.
Hmm.
The Rams have
Insanity.
their own, and they have Atlanta's. And as of today, it would be 16th overall for them, and 22nd their own. And Dallas, they have Green Bay's from the Parsons deal.
Right.
And if the season ended today, Green Bay's pick, which is now with Dallas, would be 27th overall. Dallas's own would be pick 13.
Huge, man.
Maybe
Enormous.
Dallas needs to lose more so they can get their pick higher and higher.
I have this fear, right, with the Jets, is that if they don't land the number 1 overall pick, they drop down to like 4 or 5th overall, and Dallas might have a shot at getting their pick. Dak might be the quarterback for the Jets in 26.
That would be a Woody thing. That would be Woody.
Yes, it would. It would.
That would be Woody meddling. But you know what? You know why I could see it? You know why I could also see it besides Woody meddling? The OC and the head coach came from Detroit. And like it or not, they haven't developed a quarterback in Detroit.
Right.
They got back Jared Goff because they traded away Matthew Stafford to the Rams. And the Rams had to trade away Goff to a team and realized if they have them both on the roster at the same time,
100%.
that teams were going to push back on them. So they decided to make one big deal, and that the Lions took on Goff's egregious contract that he got from the Rams.
Yep.
They took it on to get that second first-round pick. That's why they got 2 first-rounders. If they didn't take Goff, they wouldn't have got 2 first-rounders. They would have gotten a first and a third for Stafford.
I agree, 100%, without a doubt.
So that's why I see like Woody meddling and forcing Dak on them. But seeing it work is because they came from a team that had a veteran quarterback that didn't develop that.
Timeout. The Panthers won today?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's his second in a row. Second in a row, right? They're on a winning streak.
Yeah, they beat the Dolphins. Now they beat the Cowboys.
Now you're telling me, what's their record? Let me see here. Their record. They're 3-3 right now.
Yep, and they hold the 14th pick in Tankathon.
Yo, my man, you got to be kidding me. They're going to steamroll the Jets. Steamroll them.
Rico Dowdle was carving up the Cowboys defense with the running game today.
And he was on my fantasy team.
Think about that for a second, fellas. Think about this. Hold on a second. The Cowboys came here to our house in Jersey.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
What's up?
So I'm on, I won't say the betting app, but we'll just call it the Blue app.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Blue Chew.
Blue Diamonds, we'll call it. Blue Diamonds.
Beautiful.
The Jets are 1.5-point favorites next week against the Panthers.
Yeah, they want you to take that bet. They want you to take it. Of course. I would do the same thing.
That will change by Tuesday.
It will.
But think about this for a second. Like I was saying before, like the Cowboys came here and they destroyed us. Like there was no like, the Jets could win this one. It was tight in the first until Breece Hall fumbled the ball, and then all hell broke loose. Right now, that same team, man, same team, goes to Carolina, and Carolina puts up 30 points. They win by 3. They're on a roll right now. The Panthers, they are. They believe in each other. That culture is changing. And here come the Jets in their way. Do you feel like the Jets could be the upset special? Or do you see where teams are looking at the Jets and saying, all right, you know what? We need to like just hit them where it hurts. Get ahead 10-0, 13-0, and they're just going to give up. Are the Jets that kind of team where teams say, all right, they're easy. The only thing is we got to get up on them early and just keep them at bay, but with a good amount, and not even a good amount, like a 13-point lead. Is that the game plan with a lot of these teams facing the Jets?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Look, Denver played down to us today, but if you look at what worked for them was quick passes, and if you have a quarterback mobile enough,
Right.
having him scramble for yardage. That's what Bo Nix did.
Wow, man. This is something else. I'm just seeing this for the first time, man. And I'm looking at the Panthers, how they're playing.
Last year, the final 4 games of the season, I said Bryce Young has been playing well.
Yep.
And performing well.
You nailed
I
it.
said he was going to have a good game to let out.
And he is playing very well. Very well, actually. Holy smokes, man. I'm like just taken aback a little bit, man. I thought like how people are talking about the Panthers, they're like, they suck, this and that. They are coming together. Imagine being 3-3 at this point, fellas. Think about that. Let's put ourselves in that position. Let's kind of walk through this path wearing Jets sunglasses, thinking, you know what? We lost 3, we won 3. We're at the crossroads, and in about 2 weeks, we're going to be in our bye week. How would you feel right now at 3-3 about Aaron Glenn? Luca, you go first. How would you have felt about Aaron Glenn at 3-3?
If the Jets were 3-3, I'd be feeling like, wow, 3-3, like some pretty optimistic, because obviously most people said, oh, well, the gauntlet, it's going to be the first 2 months, then it'll get easier. 3-3, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine.
Armand, 3-3.
I'd be good because the offense wouldn't be as abysmal as it was. You probably don't have constant penalties. I mean, today the bright spot was 2 penalties. Think about it. We had less penalties today,
Crazy.
2 for 15. We had 15 yards more than our passing game.
Yep. Wow, man.
But like our offense would be so totally different.
That's insane.
And that's just not on the offensive players, but that's on Engstrom, because I think he's calling a soft, safe game.
Is it because he doesn't trust Justin Fields? Could that be it? Yeah.
Yes.
Then why?
And I don't think Fields has the confidence in himself and doesn't believe in himself to make the throws. That's why he holds onto the ball too long. But the one thing I could blame about Fields is you hold onto the ball too long. You need to scramble. You need to make a play. Instead of waiting for the play to break down like in Miami and you score a touchdown. If you don't see anybody open, even though players are getting open, or you're too afraid, just tuck it and run.
How severe do you think Garrett Wilson's injury is? Is it going to be week to week, or is it going to be a 3-weeker where we're not going to see him until after the bye? Meaning, our receivers are going to be Reynolds Rap, Arian Smith. What was that? That number 16 character.
Tyler Johnson.
Lazard. Just count him for now because you never know, he could be traded or inactive every week.
Right. That's what I was just thinking about that.
The returner.
Williams. That's another one. Talk about accountability. Right? Like he fumbled the ball, the Jets cut him or whatever, and then they bring him
Practice
back.
squad, and then they
Come
bring
on.
to the
Man. It's favoritism. If you think about it, it's favoritism because he knew the guy from Detroit. He knew him. And that's why it's like he owed him. Yeah, me neither, Ricardo. I didn't see Lazard that
he was
much.
inactive for personal reasons. He didn't fly over.
He personal reasons. He woke
Yeah,
up.
That's what the Jets said. But who the hell knows what personal reasons mean?
Unbelievable.
Maybe they
man.
agreed that they'll make him inactive every week until they trade him.
There's something going on here, man. There's something nasty going on with this organization, and I think this is a good thing. The Jets are going to revamp this entire organization. I honestly think so. I think so, fellas. But it has to continue. Like this, we can't win anymore. Like I'm not watching these games and say, "Oh, I hope we win." We're not showing anything. We're not showing anything. Nothing. Just keep losing. Like I got to be honest. Maybe you guys are going to say I'm crazy. When we lost today, I actually felt really good. I felt as if we won. Is that sick, or is that looking at the
you're
overall?
Like me tanking? Like what's the? It's if you want the team to tank and want them to lose, it's relief. I was happy that the game was done in the morning. Was in a morning game.
Why am I crazy? I don't understand this. Like, why would I want them to lose? Like to win?
I guess the Alfred's busting your balls.
He is. Because I had the 2 weeks ago with the Jets Cowboys. I'm like, oh, all these reasons that the Jets are going to lose, and then we did predictions. I'm like, all right, Jets going to win like 43-3. I couldn't. I can't do that. No, I can't do it anymore. The Jets are just right where they need to be. That's what I'm going to say. The Jets are right where they need to be. And number one, I want to thank everyone watching right now. Please hit that subscribe button, that like button. It would definitely help us out immensely.
We are who they thought they were. In the words of Denny Green from a preseason game against the Chicago Bears.
Yes, but the thing is, I didn't think that they were this bad, Armand. I didn't think that they were like, they're just showcasing us who they are. And now we actually can attribute who they really truly are. Their colors are showing, right then and there, that they just are poorly coached. The organization is horrible all the way from the top. And this needs to happen. It has to happen. The way how it's going right now, they need to continue to lose 0-7, 0-8. Woody has to feel embarrassed. I don't think he's ever felt embarrassed yet. In the 22 plus years that he has this team, he has not felt embarrassed. This at 0-17, I think he will. I honestly think he will.
Genuine question. Do you think Woody feels embarrassed about today? Well, was this game today more embarrassing than last year's game against the Vikings overseas, which got Saleh fired?
Big time. Way.
Woody sees it like that?
Way more embarrassing. Last year, at least they had the chance at the end of the game with that. I think it was that bomb to Garrett or something like that, where he overshot him or underthrew him, something like that towards the end. But it was competitive. This guy had 48 yards passing, something like that.
45 negative.
Stop.
If you include the 9 sacks,
stop
for 55 yards and negative 10 yards passing.
You just answered your own question, Armand. That's it. That's what I'm saying. This is beyond embarrassing to Woody Johnson.
I got to cut you off. I apologize. Is Woody looking at the box score and looking at individual stats, or is he saying, the Broncos were a really good team heading in here? Our team was previously winless, and we still are winless, but we competed. That's the end. I think that's his mindset. I could be wrong.
I don't think so, man. I think he has a lot of buddies over there. He was the ambassador in England. And for him taking that flight home it's got to be eating him up. It's gotta. I know there's a lot of fans that are like, "No, Woody doesn't care." What? I know the guy cares. The guy, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. He has tried in the past, with the whole Brett Favre thing, just trying to bring players over here. Chris Jenkins, Damian Woody, all these players. He wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to win a championship. But I think genuinely, right now, if we end the season at 0-17. He will feel something that he has never, ever experienced as a Jets owner. The ridicule of being the laughing stock in the NFL. Think about that. For over 22 years, 23, 24, whatever the case is, he never felt that. Even the butt fumble, even all that, because maybe 2 years later, whatever the case was, the Jets were somewhat competitive. But in the year 2025, where they're naming ex-Jet head coaches that were the worst, comparing them to Glenn, Lou Holtz, Rich Kotite. Like, do you think that he's okay with the stigma of, oh, you know what? Aaron Glenn, 0-17, we're going to bring him back. Nah, I don't. I think it's eating him up. Not yet, not fully. But I think at the end of the season, it's going to consume him.
So from a player's with Woody, he has brought in players. Like you said,
Yes.
Favre and whatever, Rodgers.
Yep.
But he's never done that with the coach. And
Right.
Maybe Glenn is going to be the coach that makes him change his mind, whether that's this season or most likely next season. Because Woody has to prove it to all of us.
Right.
But it has to be proven with the next head coach, or if he sticks with Glenn, it's just the same old, same old.
Can I ask a question? So you're the owner of your business, right? And you want to get the right employees, and you hire all these firms, Cornflakes and Ferry. You got the 39th team going around there. You got Charlie Casserly, Mike Tannenbaum, who I bet was thrilled.
Ron
Wolf, all these guys. You're there as the owner. You're there interviewing all these candidates. Don't you get to the certain point where obviously you care about your product and you're like, you know what? You're going through these candidates and you're like, I've heard this before. And the result was this. I've heard this before. He sounds a lot like this. I think he's going to get to a certain point after this season if it does really go bad. That's why I'm going to play devil's advocate one more time. I honestly think Woody is going to make the ultimate decision. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whatever the case is, I think he is going to start vetting and start saying, all right, you know what? Number one, no more first-time head coaches. No more. If I'm going to get the next head coach of the New York Jets to select the first overall draft pick, I need a veteran head coach. Every head coach that we're going to get here at One Jets Drive just for a full-out interview, I'm going to do it. Brian Flores, another one, right? He was a head coach, right, for the Miami Dolphins. One. Let's see what you got. Cliff Kingsbury, same thing. Gruden, scratch him off the list. He's not going to be there. Maybe McCarthy. Please don't bring in Rex. Stop it. That was so comical last year.
That was a gimmick.
That was such a gimmick, man. Like,
that was Rex just trying to get back into the league.
Yeah, but
and he knows the team. He knows the fan base that's itching. So he knew the buttons to press. And remember, he's on ESPN, so he has a soapbox that he could do it on that reaches millions of people.
Right. Yeah, no, completely. I don't know. I'm still very optimistic at the end of this whole thing, as long as they continue to lose. I think that's the biggest caveat here for us to look long-term at the bigger picture. Continue losing. That's the most important thing here. We don't have anything. Try to acquire as many picks as possible. Fire sale. Straight up. everyone is on the table. Everyone, anybody. Garrett, I love Garrett. I love Garrett. But if someone calls you up, Armand, and gives you 2 high first rounders, you wouldn't take it?
Yes, I
2,
think the only 2.
not 1.
I think the only 2 players. Not saying they're untouchable. I think the only 2 players that wouldn't get traded are our starting tackles, Fashanu and Membu.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, 100%. Closing
Not
thoughts.
saying they're untouchable, but I just think you have to.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. 100%.
I know Afram said he won't give a coach full control either, and I know what he means by that. 100%. I know what Afram means by that, but Aaron Glenn kind of had control because he chose Darren Muji as the GM,
which was the stupidity of the Jets hierarchy.
So stupid. So stupid.
So, in some ways, the coach had, in some sort of way, full control because he chose the GM, and I'm pretty sure Glenn chose all the players in the draft.
Correct.
I think him and Muji together, but I do think Glenn chose the stuff. Like Parcells says, you can't, with the groceries, you got to choose some of the produce.
To answer Afram's question, John Dorsey. John Dorsey is the guy.
Or Thomas Dimitroff.
Or Thomas Dimitroff. There are options out there. There are. Luca, final thoughts on the game today and heading into next week, long term. How do you see this playing out?
Well, final thoughts. Of course, thank you, Dan, for having me on. Obviously, great talking with the chat and Armand, of course. Quick plug, real quick. Tomorrow night at 9:00, I'll be hosting my Jets fan therapy session. So you guys can come in my chat, Gangrene Chronicles on YouTube. Just rant and rave about, well, we're not raving, we're ranting about the Jets. Get out your thoughts. It's basically a free-for-all, just talking all that. But final thoughts in terms of the Jets. Another disgraceful game. You can't even argue there was a competitive effort because the offense was it was worse than high school offense with the offense most people watched today. And also as well, just for the future, I would look at these next 3 games as pivotal because, Dan's talking about drafting and all that. Carolina, Cleveland, Cincinnati. The last 2 are not exactly good teams. Cincinnati, I think, just lost to Green Bay. I could be wrong. Cleveland, they just lost to Pittsburgh. They could be playing one of Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel. So at the end of the day, we could lose against Carolina next week, which I think is more probable. But those 2 games after that, I think those are the more pivotal if you're talking about tank.
Excellent. Armand, you think we're going to go 0-3 the next 3 weeks?
Yes, I do. And I think it's going to be because the offense is so bad. With Fields afraid to throw the ball. It's down the field. He's afraid to throw it. They're afraid to call a screen pass to somebody. And I think we're going to miss Garrett Wilson. I don't want to say he's out for the season with the knee, but I'll say he goes on short-term IR. He's out for 4 weeks.
Do you see where, okay, let's say he's out for 2 weeks, right? And the Jets go 0-8. And with all the money that Woody is spending on Garrett, do you feel that he could shut him down, like force him to shut down?
Woody forcing them to shut him down, or Garrett saying I'm not going to play?
No, Woody's saying, hey, look, let's just make sure that you're good for next year.
It's possible.
Can he do that? Can an owner do that? Can an owner shut a player down?
He could tell the coach shut him down.
Right. Not a good look. Well, you know what, everybody? Everything is going according to plan. All right. Number one, I want to thank everyone in the chat for hopping on, chiming in. Always your perspectives are amazing. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, as we're increasing in subscribers. So we thank you all for that. Luca, Armand, you guys, man, stellar as always. So Luca, I'll definitely be there tomorrow night. Definitely hearing it out. I'm going to need more therapy. I need more therapy, man.
That's what the therapy session is for. Get all your takes out.
Let's do it, fellas. Yo, good night, and let's go Jets, fellas.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line.
Hey,